Okay, grandma memory. Camping. We were young. We had a camper. And I remember traveling in the camper. It was pretty rugged, semi-camping. And Mom traveled with at least 3 to 4 styrofoam heads at any given time. She had falls and wigs and all sorts of hair pieces. And true to Mom, she was made up the entire time and complete with hair done up in Valley of the Dolls fashion. Those were my memories of Mom. But my other memories of Mom were that she really did have us do a ton of activities. We did sports, tennis, skating, skiing, water and snow. That was both Dad and Mom. And so we had a fairly athletic, outdoorsy life. And for that, I am thankful because it led to a very happy childhood in that way for kids growing up in Northern California. So a lot of things to be thankful for there too. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
So, yeah. What can I say about my mother? Okay, this is coming from the rich kid. Remember, Mom, that's you. I'm the rich kid, right? Yeah, that's what you've decided I'm rich. Yeah. Anyway, thank God for you, because I think back in our childhood and the experiences that we had, and I love my father dearly, but my God, none of that would have happened without you. You were the difference. You were the leveling influence. My dad was the passionate one, and I thank God I got some of that from him. But Mom was the one, you were the one that kept things together and took us on vacations that we probably had no business being on, and going to wonderful Tahoe and the experiences that we had there and all that. Other than your good friend trying to kiss me when she was drinking too much, you know, some of those experiences I could forget. But overall, it's been a hell of a ride, and it's because of you. Love you.
She let go of the stroller. She would take the kids for long walks that would take hours to come back. So I would stress out, like, are they coming back? And then the kids got older and a little wiser. So then when Grandma would come to the house and say, let's go on a walk, they'd always be busy and have something to do. So they wouldn't go on the walks with Grandma because it was a 2-hour walk and they weren't in as good a shape as Grandma Cece. So yeah, those were the days. I'm doing good. Grandma came to visit me. I first met Nancy and Raul. It was cold, wintry day. Greg brought me here to meet the fam, well, at least the parents. And it was a big dinner party going on, so I felt very stressed out. But she opened me with open arms. She did keep telling me that there was a flight attendant that was so cute, and she really liked her. And I was stressing out, like, oh, am I as good as a flight attendant? But I think 38 years later, I'm still here. So the flight attendant is no longer in the picture. But she's always welcomed me and made me part of the family. Oh, no.
All right, so happy birthday, Mom, you old bird, you. I get my toughness from you, that I know. And the one gift that you did give me was Tahoe, which has been my home for 35 years now. And I have enjoyed all the years that you guys come up and all the years that you've been there for me and my family. The Christmases that you came up and shared with us every year. And let's see, in the long walks and how all the kids began to recognize it. One of my fondest memories is when Josh was 2 years old and we were in the city. And the night before, we had taken a cab home from the Lion King, which he slept through. And then in the morning we went and we started our walk, and Josh had realized who you were and where you were taking him. And the first hill we hit, he pointed at the yellow car and goes, "Yellow car, Gamma, yellow car, yellow car." Meaning time for the walk to be over, and he wanted to go home and take the yellow car. And so many memories of you know, the house up in Tahoe and you coming up and spending Christmas with us year after year, and gingerbread houses, and all the kids' performances, and you and Dad always being there. So thank you. Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Grandma. Being the oldest of all the grandchildren, I hear stories all the time about you coming over to New York City like 10 different times, and me being the most vocal baby ever. When we would go on long walks in the stroller, I'd always, make noises as we went above, like went on the speed bumps and stuff like that, and I would just make the most random noises. And my mom never told me this story, but thanks to you, I've got probably the best recollection of my childhood and my babyhood that I could name. So, thank you for always being there, not only from as a baby, but even till now. I couldn't ask for a better grandma. So I love you and happy birthday.
Memories about Grandma Cece. Grandma, I feel like my first memories all come from walks, 20-mile walks, or at least they seemed like 20-mile walks. And I remember I could never keep up with her, and I feel like that's probably true to this day. I probably could still not keep up with her. I'd say that's probably the biggest memory I have of Grandma that supersedes everything else, is just those long walks. And always going to dinner and having amazing food, that was always spectacular. And, Tahoe trips, obviously. Those were always amazing. Going out on the boat, just on that pier, I still remember that pier very distinctly, the blue carpet. And just hanging out in the condominiums I feel like we were always in. Some fond memories for sure. And Grandpa, of course, too.
We're rolling.
So some of my favorite, mine's a little bit more sentimental, but some of my favorite times with Grandma and really Grandpa, because they were so intertwined, was going up to Tahoe and how active Grandma always was. She was sort of a matriarch in our family because of how tough she was and is. She'd always whoop our ass in tennis, even when we were at our athletic peak and 18 years old. Grandma would roll in and kick our ass. And then, she was in the boat, and she was speed walking faster than me and Mom, and we'd be chasing her 50 yards behind, still to this day. So that's some of the fun things I remember about Grandma. She just loves the outdoors. She never gives up, and it's sort of that tough, fighting old school spirit that I always admire about Grandma and that I love about her. We're lucky to have her in our lives and have spent so much time with our grandparents. And, we miss Grandpa, but their relationship together, it's something that we'll always cherish and remember, in the way she looked after him in the latter years and they looked after each other. It's really special.
Hey Grandma, happy birthday. Another big one. Wanted to bring up one memory I always had. When we go to the Cheesecake Factory, I think anywhere in the world actually, you would always get cheesecake and scotch. No matter what, no matter the occasion, it didn't matter at the time, morning or night. And so that was always a very fond memory, just because you really brought out the best in everyone. And so I'm very thankful for that, and always thankful for you in my life. And so I wish you another happy birthday, and obviously keep living on and having an amazing life and sharing your best with us. So very thankful. Thanks, Grandma.
Well, I was talking inside. I think that one of our favorite memories is just growing up going to Lake Tahoe. You used to always take Nick and I out in that freezing cold water, and all of our parents were like, no, we're not going, and you would just run laps around us. And I just remember those long walks. He used to take us on long walks, and you'd be ready to keep going, and all of us kids were just exhausted, but we were trying to keep up with Grandma. So we were always just living, trying to keep up with you, and you've always just been way ahead of us. So yeah. Remember when you and Grandpa would come visit us, and you also the fashion. I think you brought you brought the fashion and your fur coats. I do remember the fur coats. And me, you, and my mom would always go shopping, and you always just inspired. Like my mom is such a fashionista that I'm more of a tomboy, and I think it took me a while to catch on to y'all's fashion, but you definitely set the trend.
My favorite Grandma memory would be sitting on the beach. She's reading her newspaper while we're playing in the water, all the cousins running around, squishing our feet in the marsh next to St. Francis, and picking dandelions, swimming in the cold water. Oh no. I just remember her sitting on the chair, sitting in the sun, watching us play in the water. I guess my favorite grandma memory is opening every single card and having the smiley face and the grandma and the G of the grandma. I love it when she does that. And the XOXO grandma with the smiley face and the G.
That's a really good.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the first time Belle and I came to visit San Francisco, and Nancy was the one who drove us around, and it's my first time on the San Francisco roads, and there's definitely a few stop signs that we blew through, but we came out alive, so it all worked out in the end.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and happy birthday.
Yeah, look at the camera.
Okay. I have a lot of memories in the house. Just being here is like one of my favorite places to be. It just brings back warm memories for me. Like most of them were made when I was really little. So like memories with like Josh and Belle and Joe and Nick and all like the little ones was just really fun. But just having Grandma there and obviously Pops, it just made me happy every time coming down here for like Thanksgiving or just any holiday, just to visit, just to see. But having her like there for when she came down to our town to like visit for like hockey games or just any sports, just to show that she cared, because I always knew that Grandma cared. And man, I have really bad memory, but I have a lot of good memories with Grandma. All of them are happy. All of them make me feel warm inside, which is kind of a weird thing, but makes me feel good. Yeah.
Probably just Christmas. Every time Grandma would come up for Christmas, and probably back when we skied at Homewood, and she'd just be like waiting down there, and we'd know exactly where to just like ski straight to Grandma. And she'd always be just kind of waiting for us. And Christmases were always really, really nice whenever she'd come up. I remember she got us a limousine once. We came back from, not an opera,
No,
Broadway show.
Yeah.
And
Lion King.
yeah, she pitched forward for us to get a limo. That was my first time in a limo, and that was awesome. That was crazy.
It was a Nutcracker.
It's not Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was some show, but like summers down in Sunnyside, so where like Mom and Dad wouldn't let us go down to the beaches, and so Grandma would go against them and take us down there anyways. So Belle and I could throw rocks at boats. Oh yeah, every summer, because we'd always go by boat first,
Yeah.
and just like destroying the pier at Grandma's house in the summer by the Coast Guard, and just causing absolute havoc at the pool there. And that house was crazy and hectic always.
I don't know, what's it like being the master of all of this?
I don't think I'm a master of anything. You guys have taken over. But the good news is I don't mind. I like having you here. And I'm not doing anything. I just ordered the dinner and I'm just sitting around. I like it. And I get to be with my whole family, and I don't get that very often, so I love it. I want to do it every year. And who knows, I might live to be 100.